steps straight up from here. Still going up, view after view up here. We are going up. Big rocky steps here. But we're not at the top yet. Oh, these stairs rise quickly. Beautiful. Sometimes night hiking just looks so cool. I missed the turn. I am officially confused. That must mean that the trail has changed. I'm just gonna stick it out. Starting today's hike here in Parfrey's Glen. Gonna go on the Ice Age Trail, which starts right over there, go around Devil's Lake, and do one other segment, 20-ish miles. All right, here is the Ice Age Trail marker. Once again, we'll be following the yellow blazes of the Ice Age Trail today. The trail today is actually pretty slippery and wet. I almost wish I had some spikes with me. I'm a little over a mile in, and this is largely what the trail has been like so far. Sort of just gently rolling. Some spots it's muddy, a little slippery, but it's kind of like a warm-up for the Devil's Lake segment, which has some more elevation changes than this area. Temps are low 50s, I think, right now. I think we're going to go close to 60. So it's just a beautiful day to be out here. Solemn Lane, 1 mile. All right, so 2 miles from Parfrey's Glen. Solemn Lane, must be a parking area down there. That's blue blazed, so it's a side trail. And Highway 113 is, I believe, where we switch from this segment to the Devil's Lake segment of the Ice Age Trail. 2.2 miles to there. Probably about 2.5 miles from Parfrey's Glen. I'm at one of the first fields that are common on the Ice Age Trail. It's been forested the whole way until now. About 3 miles in, there's a bit of a descent here with steps. There wasn't much of a climb. I guess there were some gradual climbs. I don't know if I went up and now I'm going back down, or if this is just a descent from the starting point's elevation. At about 3.5 miles, so fairly close to the end of this segment. We've got some more big fields here. I've reached the other end of this segment, I believe. Across this road on the other side, I think, is the Devil's Lake segment. Double check the map, and that is the end of the earlier segment. And here we continue on the Devil's Lake segment. All right, no distance to Devil's Lake, just an arrow. So here we go. Just a short distance from that sign, we have this second marker here. This here is the Uplands Trail, so that's not where we want to go. We're going to follow the Ice Age Trail down this way to the right. All right, so it's time for lunch, and since I'm not camping out tonight, I had room to carry literally whatever I felt like eating, and so I went with sushi. It's a little worse for the wear, but should still be good, and I got some spring rolls there. I also decided to lug this all in a bear can. 2 reasons, really. One was I didn't have much weight, so I could afford to carry something like that. 2 is that I don't want to put food directly in my bag, so I can keep scents out. And 3, that's my bench. So I actually managed to eat all of that food. I'm a little surprised that I did, but I guess hiking works up an appetite. And the trail since lunch has pretty much been like this. Easy, open trail. Got another junction here where the Ice Age Trail is going to turn right. All right, this bench, we're hanging a right, and there's a sign confirming. At about 5 miles from my start point, got another street crossing here. Looks like my next big marker is the Ice Age Campground right here. At about 6 miles, I've reached the part that goes through the campsites. Around the campsites over here, there's this little knobby peak that the trail wraps around. I think I'm just gonna pop up there real quick and check it out. And now that I'm up here, gotta get the 360. That is where the trail comes from. Goes down below there and all the way around this little knoll. That's where I came up. You can see one of the campsites over there. And here we got a little segment of the trail that goes on the campground roads. Along the road, there's both a water fountain and a bathroom. The trail comes down the street past that shower house, past these dumpsters where you could unload trash, and up this street here to the right. The shower house is some kind of monument looking rock in front of it here. You can see a blaze there in the back of that sign. The trail follows the curves of this road for a while down to a street crossing. Mostly yellows and greens today, but here we've got some red and orange still. So the street crossing is actually an undercrossing. All right, the blaze on this stop sign points us left. And I think we're gonna get off road soon. That blaze would lead me to go that way, but there's actually a trail here that I can see on the map. It connects, so I'm gonna get off the road. And the yellow blaze is on this trail, so that move, getting off the road, was correct. Got a little amphitheater here of some sort and a blaze on the tree. Looks like it's going that way. Yep, there's the post with the blaze. Coming out here, we got some very tight turns left, and then left again at that do not enter sign right there. That, I believe, is my first view of Devil's Lake so far this trip. I don't see any blazes, but the trail, per the map, goes right across these tracks and through the parking area. All right, this blaze here in front of the park headquarters right there is pointing us left, so let's go left. And this is taking us right up to the lake. I think technically the Ice Age Trail is over to my right, but I'm walking on the beach if I can walk on a beach. That is not the trail I want. So I think I'm going to walk back down the beach, and then I'm going to be a true yellow blazer. So that's the beach from the far end, away from the office. And that's the bluff on the other side of the lake, where I'll be heading up later. The next segment of the trail is going to bring me up and all the way around over to there. I backtracked a bit to figure it out, but the Ice Age Trail hooks right behind these dumpsters, behind the office over there. No blaze to tell you that though. That ridge in front, that's what I'm about to go up. So after these bathrooms here, we hook right, where everybody else up there is going, to go up to the West Bluff Trail. Here's where the fun starts. Step straight up from here. With those steps, it's a quick rise up to the cliff top up here. That view is right there, but that's not the top. And even after those views, we're still not at the peak, although the rise now is more gradual. Still going up. Got some short, steeper rises here too. It's just view after view up here. Still not at the highest point either. This isn't quite the highest point, according to Peak Bagger, but we are getting close. Highest point is just ahead over there, Best view appears to be here. That is a little higher than where I'm standing now, so I think I just walked over the high point. Start to descend here. So I got one more really good view right here. Well, that lake is basically my route from here. I'll descend to the right, go around the bottom, and then climbing up that. So that's my next few hours. I actually backtracked a little bit before coming back down this way because it looked like the highest point for peak bagger was a little off the trail. But when I went up there to look, the trail was higher than anything nearby. So I'm pretty confident that the peak bagger point is a little bit off and it should be right on the trail. All right, as we start the descent here, 9-ish miles in, it will go away from the cliff's edge a bit. Still got some more little views here that are worth peeping. It's actually a pretty interesting trail. Someone came back here and actually blacktopped it. So you could potentially go down this with a skateboard. Got another view down here. Short side trail off. This trail actually does a little loop right back to the main trail, so I'm gonna give it a go, see what happens. Ooh, a little bit of exposure there. Oh, it's a climbing wall. It doesn't loop around? No, it doesn't. Okay. So he said it doesn't loop around, but there does appear to be another trail up this way. Let's see if I can find it. There is only a very faint trail over here. It does appear to go to the top of this feature, whatever this is. Not really much of a trail up here. I don't think I feel like bushwhacking this, so follow it over there, it connects back around. I'm gonna go with that. Oh, is this it? That's where I was before, where they are. Over here, looks like at the top of the trail. Let's go down and check it out. There's not a good way to connect the two. Maybe down there and up here. Oh, it's too easy. I completed that exploratory loop and I'm just back on the main Ice Age trail again. Almost down to the road and we're on stairs again. Once you merge on the street here, you have Tumbled Rocks Trail taking you back here, but that's not the way. This is. Road takes you past the South Shore boat landing and we're gonna walk right along the beach again up there. I guess we got a smidge of a beach here and then mostly just rocky shoreline. After a good stretch on the road there, we turn off at this bridge. All right, for my next food splurge, I've got stuffed grape leaves and jerk steak wrap. So my 4 p.m.-ish snack with the geese is done. Now it's time to climb up that. This area down here has bathrooms over there, trash cans, an ice cream shop apparently, but I think that's closed today. I'm sure there's water here somewhere. Good spot to unload, grab a bite, get some water. The Ice Age Trail is blazed right up to the concession shop here. And right here, the Ice Age Trail is parting from the lake. I don't see any blazes at this T intersection, but pretty sure it's got to be left. There we go, blaze on that tree up there. got another railroad crossing here. And at this fork, Ice Age Trail to the left. I'm looking around here for balanced rock, but I don't see it. That is not balanced. It's a big rock though. Maybe I'll see it as I proceed. And this is where the climb begins. Not quite a scramble, it looks like, but we are going up. Big rocky steps here. Trail continues in front of this climbing area here. Whew. Just past the climbing area, there's this amazing view. But we're not at the top yet. Oh, nice view here above the climbers. I think this is balanced rock that I'm on. I guess it looks that way from a distance. See that sign right there? It says balanced rock pointing this way. Nope, balanced rock is over there. Let's go check it out before we continue on the trail. And this gets us back on the Ice Age Trail right here. Oh, these stairs rise quickly. That view, still not the top. All right, here's where we take a right to go on the East Bluff Trail.
We're going this way. Is that everyone? Yeah.
So we are still going uphill. The actual highest point of the bluff is somewhere ahead. The steps, thankfully, appear to be done. Man, just get an opening on the right on this trail. There's a view. Beautiful. Here's a little side trail that takes us to Devil's Doorway. Let's go see what that is. So it's just a really cool rock formation where they form this sort of doorway. I think everybody's hanging out here to try and get the best shot at sunset. But I don't have time for that, so off we go. All right, I'm doing a little loop off of the main trail to try and find the highest point, as it's marked in Peak Bagger. It is along this trail back here in the woods, just to the side. All right, we got a side trail here to Devil's Doorway Trail from this main one I'm on. And the high point should be right up ahead here, not too far. This is one of those flat peaks where you got to eyeball it a little. I think it's a little bit in the woods over there. Well, the spot a little bit off the trail. Looks like the closest I can get to the high point, and it does look like it probably is. Again, with these flat ones, it's always hard to tell, but I'm gonna call it good enough. All right, on the way back, we'll take this other trail. All right, this completes the loop. And now I'm treading new trail here. Oh, actually, I did walk this little segment before. Up ahead where I make the left, that was where I went up to the highest point of the bluff. Straight ahead there is new trail for me. Yeah, so it's not the Potholes Trail I'm gonna go down, or the CCC Trail. It's the East Bluff Trail, so I'm just going this way, following the yellow, which is the Ice Age Trail, and off that way. There's a yellow blaze. And it looks like this right here is where the descent begins. That sure seems like a formation that somebody would have given a name to, huh? The Ice Age Trail here moves away from the cliff, so it's like this might be my last elevated view tonight. All right, and we go right on this rescue road to stay on the Ice Age Trail. So I'm like 13 miles in to what's a 20-mile hike, and starting to get that word that my hiking buddy from Austria loves: cramps. I probably haven't been exercising enough to be doing 20-mile hikes out of the blue, but I'll make it. So I'm almost out of the Devil's Lake area right there. That is not the one I'm going to take. This is. So that's the one that goes north. This is the Ice Age Trail. This little side trail off the main trail looks like the closest I'm going to get to the sunset tonight. You can kind of see it peeking through the trees there, just barely. The sky over here is probably the real view though. Now back to very typical trails for the Ice Age Trail, and I suspect this is the way it's going to be all the way until the end point. I've got this long slope of, I don't know, what is this, 5-10 degree downhill, and man, my quads are at the end. It's all I can do to stave off cramps that make me stop. I wasn't paying attention, and I missed this fork, and this, unfortunately, is the way I need to go. Let's double check. Yep, Ice Age Trail this way. Well, this is a thin little part of the Ice Age Trail. So the camera corrects pretty well for the light, but I think it's headlamp time at this point. So this is pretty much what the trail's been like. Slow downhill in the woods. Since that last view I saw, there really hasn't been much to see, even if it were daytime. Still got quite a few miles to go here, so it's going to be a decent night hike for me tonight. There's a moon out tonight, and the sky is crystal clear, so that little sliver is giving a decent amount of light. I've made it here to South Shore Road, which is still within the Devil's Lake segment, if I'm not mistaken. And next looks like I'm heading across Roznos Meadow. Here's what things look like with the lights off. All right, here we are at the parking lot. So this street is the end of the Devil's Lake segment. This is the Merrimac segment. I'm at the first road crossing in the Merrimac segment. Looks like these bridges over muddy water are a characteristic part of the Merrimac segment. Here is yet another one. Getting fancy up here with rails. I guess it's like a deep swamp or something. Not really. Here's where we start to get pretty wet. Probably continues where these railings are. So I just checked the temperature and it's about 48 degrees out. And I'm in my sort of 40s and up garb. You can see the shirt right here. I've got multiple extra layers for warmth, but typically when it's in the 40s, as long as I keep moving, this is enough. I've got maybe 2 miles left, so I think I'm just gonna stick it out with this gear instead of pulling out any other warm weather gear. The only warm weather gear I have on right now is my neck gaiter. Man, sometimes night hiking just looks so cool. All right, I've made it to the Marsh Road crossing here. The trail winds around a bit on the other side of the road, and then the end is actually down there on Marsh Road. Originally, I was considering hiking the last bit on the roads, and I'm prepared to do that, but I was able to get an Uber to meet me there, so excited not to walk any more than the Ice Age Trail. The Ice Age Trail is volunteer maintained, and it looks like we haven't had some volunteers out here for a minute, but that's okay. You can use hiking poles to just clear things out of your way as you go through. All right, that little grassy segment ended, and we get a bit more openness here. So I ate that little second lunch at 4 o'clock like some kind of hobbit or something. And I am ready for a real meal. As I said earlier, I got some burritos in my backpack, but I want to make sure I'm there in time for the Uber driver. After all, he's coming out to some random place to get me. I don't want to leave him waiting. So I think I'm just going to try and hold out until the end. Of course, while I'm sitting here thinking about food, I missed the turn. I think I can see the blaze over there on the left. All right, I am officially confused. That blaze appears to make it look like we should be going down this road, but the map shows a right turn off of this road when coming from the other direction. So going this way, it should be a left. There's another one. Maybe that's it. Oh, there's a whole bunch of poles there. Oh, those are all blazed. That must mean that the trail has changed. So I guess I'm following this in contravention to the map I'm working on. There's that blaze I saw earlier. Clearly we're still going down this road for now. Here's a marker that points me off into the woods, which is the direction the other trail was going. And there it is on the tree. So I think I'm safe. Different trail than what was in the map, but clear enough so far. The blazes continue. This is a completely different trail from the one that was in the map, but it is going in the same general direction. The other trail is that way, somewhere to the right. Well, this is pointing that way, but it seems to go that way, the trail. So I'm gonna fix it, hopefully, and continue on. There's nothing to the side or really anywhere else around here. So yeah, there's my good deed for the day, let's call that. And the blazes continue, so that arrow turn was the correct turn. So right here, where we make this left, is where the new trail connects with the original trail. So that is still an official part of the Ice Age Trail, but this one over here is not. Looks like it's been a couple seasons that it's been out of use, so the map must have had some pretty old data in it. I see a red light up there. I wonder if that's an actual traffic light or if it's maybe a car. Could be the Uber's already here. I think I'm like 30 minutes early. Ooh, never mind. I'm not 30 minutes early. It's like 8:30ish right now. I got a mile in front of me, so I'll be just about on time. I doubt the video is doing a very good job of capturing that, but that is a pink crescent moon. Looks like a photo didn't do much better. An eyes over there. I'm thinking a deer. I think it's gone. I have made it to the parking area. Don't see the Uber driver yet. That's okay. That might be my Uber driver. Nope. I don't know where the Ice Age Trail continues from here. But for good measure, I'll just cross the street. And we'll call that complete. All right. Merrimac segment done. Now it's just time to get back to my car. Made it back to the car by about 9:10. Good day hike.